Hey, thanks so much for downloading the episode. On the show today, Paula and I talk about dumb things. We also talk about the power outage that we had, as well as our thoughts on the Golden Globes. All of this, plus much more. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
La 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 la.
Paula?
What is up with this Barbie?
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. It is episode 335. Ugh. Welcome to the truth, y'all. For our southern friends.
God, what happened to you?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so we're in Northern California. And now, Paula, you live in the town where we had this huge wind and rainstorm that happened a few days ago. Mm-hmm. Now, we had it too, and I had my own experiences with it. We had flickers of power, but we did not have a full-blown power outage, whereas your town, the whole town lost power.
Yeah, they said including Sacramento and Elk Grove, there was 100,000 people without power. Even our sister Allison lost power too.
And she's closer to me than you.
Yeah, I know. It was weird. I don't know what the heck happened. We were out, foolishly, we went out in the storm and instantly we got pelted with rain and wind. And I'm like, it's like a hurricane! Cow!
Actually, another cow!
Ryan said, Mom, as soon as we got outside, you started screaming. Because I was like,
but you're like, I need my eggs.
I had Olivia behind me because we're both, girls and trying to get in the car, and it just, it's ridiculous.
It was funny because you're like, awesome. And it sucked. Well, it was the night of the Golden Globes. And I love award show season because of the clothes. That's really my big thing. Because unfortunately now the Oscars and the Golden Globes and all of those shows have become the soapboxes for these people who think that anyone gives two shits about what they have to say.
I know.
And that makes me crazy. But I'm like, whatever happened to just standing up there and saying, thanks for all of your hard work, crew and cast, and, this has been such an honor and blah, 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 and then walking off. Why?
And then forgetting to thank your wife. And
yeah, because everyone now knows that you guys are probably separated.
Yeah, a year later, you guys divorce.
Less. Once the seasons the award season has ended, it's like Chris Pine and his wife shockingly have split. It totally makes sense why he didn't thank her at the Oscar Association, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, so yes, and that is always the tail sign, and everybody always waits for it. But now it's just like, we must resist! God damn it!
I want all my African American female actresses to take this award and run with it. We can do this.
Here's the thing. I agree with all of it. What I don't understand is, why are they talking? They're literally preaching to the choir.
No one disagrees with that.
I know. There is not one human being who is either viewing that show or sitting in that audience who thinks, you know what? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not like Clint Eastwood's going to stand up and be like, no, I disagree.
The white man must rise.
Right.
Like, none of that is ever going to happen. So it's like, I don't understand why they feel compelled to take advantage. It's like, can you please just take your accolades? You kicked ass in this show or this film or whatever. Be excited. It's okay to be proud of yourself and just be thankful and move on with your life.
And let's be honest, you were a supporting actress.
Yes. And you did good. So take it and walk away. I hate feeling like an asshole, but it's like, I know that there are people who suffer, women, minorities, poor people. I mean, everybody has their burden, but I don't need someone standing up there telling me what I already know, instead of just thanking the world for this, this acknowledgement and walking away. Why is that so difficult?
Actors and actresses are, a little on the dramatic side. So
yeah,
it doesn't surprise me when they have, these speeches. I mean, for God's sakes, Christian Bale, that guy is nuts.
I'd like to thank Satan
yes.
for this experience.
And Dick Cheney's an asshole.
God, it's like, I can't wait to do Mitch McConnell.
I better get off the stage. My wife already says I have too much crap coming out of my mouth.
I would have been like, you know what? Shut up. You're Welsh. You're not even an American. Get out of here.
I think that shocked me the most. It was when he came out with the accent. I looked at Ryan and I'm like, what's he doing? And he's like, Mom, he's not American.
No, he's Welsh. He's where Catherine Zeta-Jones is from.
Oh, okay.
But regardless, I actually didn't hate his speech as much because he was a little tongue-in-cheek with it. But like thanking Satan for inspiration, I thought was actually quite funny. But
I mean, not funny if you're a Republican and you like Dick Cheney. Although a lot
of people don't.
I don't think anybody really likes Dick Cheney.
I don't think there's a lot of big fans of Dick Cheney. But
yeah,
my point is that like there was a dude saying we must resist, and I said, dude, you are a straight man with a daughter named Lark. Shut up!
God.
No one cares. It's like, come on. Versace was killed by a gay man. He wasn't killed by a white Republican. Jesus, just shut your face.
I know.
You know what? I was so grateful that Carol Burnett didn't do that. Basically, there's the Cecil B. DeMille Award for movies, and now there's the Carol Burnett Award for television.
Right.
And she obviously is the first recipient. So she came out. She's so eloquent and funny and gracious and grateful. And really, she even said how lucky she was to have everything happen when it did, because today her show would not exist because it was ridiculously expensive to put on. And so she knows that it came at a great time. And, some of the finest comedians ever were on her show.
Yeah.
It was just a really cool thing. And I thought, now this is a woman who understands the platform.
Right.
She's there to talk about her career and how fortunate she was as a woman to have what she had. Thank you very much and good night. And also Steve Carell, who's just adorable.
Yeah.
He's such a cutie pie. And I loved what he said about she makes Tom Hanks look like an asshole. I'm like, that's great. Now, my question to you is, did you see anything because of the power outage?
Well, so what happened is we were watching it, and what kept happening to us is we kept having rolling blackouts initially. Yes. So
right.
the power would go out, and then 2 seconds later it would come back on. And so that happened like 5 times, and it was right around dinner time. But every time it happened, Xfinity had to boot back up.
Yeah.
We'd have to turn the Xbox back on, all that stuff. Yeah. And so it was right around dinner time, and we were watching the Golden Globes. But when it happened, a bunch of other things had happened, because that takes almost 5 minutes to reboot everything.
It took almost 10 for ours to reboot when we lost a flicker.
Right. So we missed quite a bit of stuff. And then the last time the power went out, it stayed out. And so we were going to make dinner, and then I'm just like, well, I guess we can use the stovetop, but I'm just like, we can't use the microwave, we can't use the oven. And I'm like, we're not going to cook in the dark. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like, why don't we just go out and eat? So the crowd pleaser is Denny's, because everybody can get whatever they want. And so we were sitting there, we ordered, we got our drinks, and then we had been there maybe 10 minutes, and all of a sudden the power went out. And I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? We're sitting there, waiting to see if the power is going to come back on. And then Victor looked out the window. Their flagpole with their American flag on it had broken into the bushes. And so the flag was all torn up in the bushes. And Victor has a thing about that. So he went outside and took the flag off the flagpole. But he looked like Lieutenant Dan because he was out there standing
Come
there.
at me, God!
Yeah.
This is the best you've got!
This is between you and me!
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So he comes back in, and he looks like a wet rat. And then the waiter eventually comes back, and he's just like, I'm sorry, folks. We did get your order. The country fried steak is ready, but that's the only thing, and we're not going to be able to cook anything else. So,
oh, no.
Their registers didn't even work, so we couldn't even pay for our drinks. So we had like $2 on us. So that's all we left.
$2.
I know.
That's frustrating.
It was. So we're driving around, and we're like, well, where can we go? There's nowhere to go. We have to eat. And so
the grocery store?
We went to the grocery store, And we tried to find like simple things we could do. So the kids got macaroni and cheese, and I forgot what I got. I don't remember. I think it was like soup or something. And
God, you guys wouldn't last long in the apocalypse.
That's what I know. I'm just like, we are not prepared.
You know, our mother would tell you need a go bag.
A bug out bag? Yeah, really.
Yeah. I mean, really, you need rations.
Well, and you know me, I can't eat anything, so...
No, it's like, do they have gluten-free rations?
Yeah, I'd probably starve.
You'd be like, what is this? Is there wheat in it? Leave me behind! Save yourselves!
I'll just eat the rest of the Cheerios, and then, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Okay, so in regard to the blackout, you didn't see very much of the Golden Globes. You didn't miss much, but I don't know why I'm such a bitch about this, but I really didn't want Lady Gaga to win anything.
Well,
I don't know why. I just felt like to me, I don't know how hard she had to perform in this movie about a singer who's trying to become a singer.
Did you see the movie yet?
No.
I haven't seen it either.
I know that I'm going to love the movie because I love the second original with Barbra Streisand.
Do you know there's been 4 A Star Is Born?
I thought there was only 3,
no,
but I
was
believe
4.
you.
There was one like back in the 30s or something.
Judy Garland, I believe, was the original.
No, there was one before that.
Oh, okay.
With nobody. I don't even know who it was.
Okay, probably a silent film. So the reason that
wouldn't
she
make
wore
any sense.
It really wouldn't. The reason that Lady Gaga wore lavender was because Judy Garland wore lavender to the Golden Globes when she was nominated for A Star Is Born.
Way to be original.
Right? And I went, oh, okay. I don't remember Judy Garland having gray and lavender hair, but it's possible. Anything's possible.
No baloney dresses tonight?
No, she went all princess.
That dress was huge.
It was humongous. And here's the other thing. They were so sure that they were going to win. They were at the very front table of the stage, which, just like anything, sure is embarrassing when you get snubbed. You know?
Oh, God. They lost everything with the exception of that song.
Of the song, which should win. It's an amazing song. The whole soundtrack is amazing.
I don't know. I heard a couple of the other songs and I just wasn't impressed.
Loved it. I have most of the soundtrack already. I love it. It's so amazing. And Shallow is so good. And it better win the Oscar too. It really deserves it. It's a great soundtrack.
We love that song, but Ryan and I make fun of it because...
La 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 lo.
No. We make fun of it because, you know, it starts out pretty like rusty. Ryan will go, tell me something, girl. You know, and then she's just like, you know, comes out, does her part. And then all of a sudden it escalates to like, you know... You know, and I'm like, wow, that came out of nowhere.
That escalated quickly.
Right.
Well, I love it. But what I really struggle with, and I know that I will love the movie, like I said, because first of all, Bradley Cooper could have me anywhere. He's so cute.
Seriously.
But he's on my top. He's like my Leo. He's definitely like, he and John Hamm are right up there fighting for the spot. He's just so cute. He's so freaking cute to me. He's a little thin for my taste. But
really? You know what? They all are, Jamie.
Because they're hungry. I know.
They have to be skinny on film. I mean, without clothes on, I bet you Leonardo DiCaprio looks like a 12-year-old.
I don't know. Leo DiCaprio knows how to put on the weight, though, when he's not working. He looks pretty good. He looks pretty freaking good. Anyway, so he's sitting there in his Colonel Sanders tuxedo next to Lady Gaga in her prom dress. And I went, you know... I hope they win something so they can justify them being in the front row, you know. But other than that, I really wouldn't have minded Bradley Cooper winning for director or whatever, producer, director, whatever that one was.
Yeah, director.
I really did not think that she deserved the award for Best Actress, and she didn't. But what was hilarious, and you probably missed, is when they won the award for song, she was so distracted by her dress because everybody was stepping on it. She didn't get to do anything. She just stood there rearranging her dress, and the other guy who probably who co-wrote it, was doing all the thanking. And then she finally turned around and was able to mention a couple of names, and that was it. And their time was up, and they had to leave. So she never got her moment.
Maybe that, well, you know what? When she won I think she won a SAG award for like American Horror Story or something like that.
Oh, she did.
When she hit Leo in the face with her butt.
Her butt.
I will never stop laughing
forget
at that film or that video. But she said in her speech that she always wanted to be an actress before singing.
She did. You're right. And then the song thing just happened to take precedent because that's just where it happened for her.
She got the role because she can sing. It wasn't her her acting, I'm sure.
Well, I will tell you, if you really think about it, and I don't think she's made this much of a secret, is she really is like trying to be like Madonna. I mean, Madonna did many films. She did Evita was her swan song.
You know, Madonna actually did Desperately Seeking Susan before her singing career came out.
Yeah, you're right.
Which I didn't know that.
Oh, and Paula, can we just say how glad I am that Amy Adams won nothing?
Oh, you don't like her?
Oh my God. I just can't even with her. I don't know why. Anne Hathaway looked really good, by the way.
Shut your mouth. I hate her.
She did.
Why was she even there?
I don't know, but she looked like Princess Diaries again. She is not straying away from the formula that works for her.
She's not doing the pixie cut anymore. Nope. Bohemian, sandals.
She's not doing the whole, you like me, you really like me. She's not doing any of that shit. We're just like, back
no,
to
actually, we want you back in The Devil Wears Prada.
And I barely tolerated her there. So, yes, that's what she's doing. And I'm like, you know what? If it works and it keeps me from hating your face, great. Act away. I think she's a great actress. But I just didn't like her trying to be something else weird.
She's just good in, like, B movies, like rom-coms and stuff like that,
Yes!
Nothing award-winning. But hasn't she won an award for something?
She won an Oscar for Les Mis.
Oh,
which is when it all went crazy. When she started to believe her own hype.
Oh, yeah. She started to drink her own water or something.
Yes, but now she's a mom. And that really changes people.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are the kinds of observations we make when we watch the Golden Globes.
So what's next then? The SAG Awards and then the Academy Awards?
I believe so. And the SAG is usually something they pre-record and they just slap on TNT or something. We usually aren't subjected to the live feed of that because the SAG Awards, and I could be wrong, of course, but the SAG Awards is when the actors vote for each other. It's kind of like a high school homecoming. Yeah.
I hate that. The popularity contest.
Pretty much. So that's probably when Bradley Cooper will win everything unless he's pissed off the wrong people and things of that nature. So moving on really quick, I had posted a photo of a tattoo that a man had put on his body the day after New Year's.
Oh, God.
And it was basically, it looked like somebody had written on a piece of paper all of the terrible things that he had done to his wife, and then he had it tattooed on his body. So basically it said, I, Jose Ortiz, admit that I've cheated on my wife with whores and prostitutes and women of the night. I'm a liar and a deceiver and a cheater and all these things as of January 2nd, 2019.
And some misspelled.
And there was a lot of typos.
Yes.
And he tattooed it from the top of his nips all the way to his belly button. I read that and I went, I don't know what he thinks this is going to do. Like, did he do this without any coaching? Did he just say, I'm going to prove to you how much I love you and how sorry I am? Or do you think a woman said you have to do this?
I think she printed that out, on her computer and said, you need to have tattoo this on the front of your body. So that way, if any other
scarlet letter,
if any other woman that you try and cheat with, she's going to see this.
So here's the problem that I have with it. First of all, we're talking about a Hispanic man. I don't think a woman made him do that. I think he chose to do that himself. I think he said, you know what? I'm going to prove to you how much I love you and how sorry I am. I'm going forever will be known. Every time I look in the mirror, I will be reminded how I did you wrong. I don't think any woman in the world can make a man of Latin background do anything unless he wants to do it. I don't know any Mexican I know zero Mexican men who would do that for a woman.
Every time I look in that hotel mirror, I'm going to remind myself.
Every time I pay the other whore, I will, when I'm washing my dick off in that sink at Motel 6, I will see that.
Gross.
Yeah, no, but I mean, seriously though, can you think of any woman who could make a Mexican man do that?
No,
Paula.
I don't know. I just
no.
It was a stupid idea, regardless of who decided to do it.
Whoever's dumb idea it was.
And you know what? Maybe it was the guy, because that would explain the spelling errors.
Wouldn't it? Second, let's just say you were dumb enough to forgive him and allow it, all of it. Every time you guys have sex, you have to see that. Every single time. That would be such a turn. I'd be like, you know what? Never mind. Go fuck a whore. I would be over it. I would not be able to stay with somebody.
I wouldn't.
Who had that tattooed on their body. There's no, other than doggy style, there's no way to avoid it.
Oh, God.
It's there.
Like,
forever.
Get out of my house.
And depending on how short you are, you're reading the word whore and woman of the night every day that you're sleeping with him. No matter what. I couldn't do it.
No.
It was a bad idea all around, and it was real. You could tell.
Oh yeah, and it was real. It was new
and fresh.
You see the red marks.
It's amazing to me, and I'm like, why? There's no respect for anything at all in this whole situation. Nothing. And then I'd be like, you want to do that? Go right ahead, do it. And then when you come home, we'll talk, and the house would be empty. There'd be nothing there.
My God,
be out.
It was
like. Enjoy your laser treatments.
Yeah, really. And those things are expensive, and you have
painful.
To do a lot of them.
Very painful. Well, he would just get a cover up, I'm sure. It's probably his intent was to get a big eagle or something anyway. So he's like, if it doesn't work out, I'll just, start my cover up tattoo immediately.
It would have to be a very large cover up.
Okay, so I do not watch The Bachelor.
I don't either.
Okay, but
I watch the commercials, but
yeah, so
and I read about it.
Okay, so you know way more than I do. So the current Bachelor, he's claiming he's a virgin. Is that it?
So he's been on 2 previous Bachelorettes, some island show.
Okay.
And it's always been like he's been labeled the virgin. And so allegedly this Bachelor, who's 26, is a virgin. And so now he's got 26 or however many women,
vying for his attention
at his, beck and call, who apparently want to be be his one and only. And they all look the same, basically. They're all skinny and wearing, evening gowns.
Although I read last night there was an episode, and apparently a girl came out wearing a sloth onesie.
I saw that picture. I think she did a cartwheel or something like that.
She's trying to stand out.
Well, I'm sure she stood out, but I don't think it would be a turn on or anything, unless you're into fur play or something.
Well,
like that.
Apparently she got voted off anyway. So sloth girl is gone. He doesn't want to have sex with the sloth.
No.
Really, of all the animals that you're going to pick as a woman to entice a man. So, if you could be any animal in the animal kingdom, what would it be? Sloth.
I mean, don't you think like a sexy kitten or something would be like
cheetah?
Better?
Cheetah. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
Are cheetahs sexy?
They're thin and they're fast and sleek.
Try and catch me.
It's like if someone said, "What would you be?" I'm like, I don't know. A buffalo, water buffalo.
Oh God,
I don't know.
That's how I feel before I get my period. But
hippo, giraffe. I mean, I would probably think of something stupid. If I was put on the spot, I'd be like,
a monkey.
And I would be incredibly specific too, which is my problem with things like that. I'd be like, a red-tailed squirrel that can only be found in Northern California. Why? Well, I'm from Northern California, of course.
Yes.
It would make no sense.
I'd pick one of those baboons that have the really bare pink ass because I hear that that's enticing to their partners.
Japanese Andes mountain lion. Why? Well, because they bathe in those saunas in the middle of the snow. It looks so warm there.
Sounds erotic.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, my point is that, for whatever reason, all these girls want to be with this guy. And my whole thing is like, I don't think I'd want to be with a virgin, to be honest.
It would be a very short show. That's all I know.
I mean, it probably would be. What?
I would say we all saw the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin. We know how that goes.
Yeah. Have you ever been with a virgin?
No. If I have, I didn't know. But no, I have never.
Well, I have. And
what's the result?
Nobody knows what they're doing. I'm just, they think they do. They've seen movies or,
Yeah, I think they're like, this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
I think they have an idea of what they thought they were going to do. But then, once it's happening, they're just like, wait, I didn't get to do like 3/4 of the things that I wanted to do.
I had a lot to plan. I had a lot planned. That ended very quickly. When I was with the first guy that I had sex with when I was a virgin, he didn't even get it in a third of the way.
Oh, are you kidding me?
It was over. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's too bad.
I will say that it was an ongoing issue for our entire relationship. It was not something that was just due to the fact that I was virgin.
Uh-huh.
Interestingly, I had that problem with a lot of guys.
Yeah,
I
know
did.
What? Before I had kids, I did too.
The other thing we wanted to talk about were the fat Barbies. They're not fat. But when you mentioned you wanted to talk and you're going to explain why this even became a thing, and then I'll tell you, I actually did some research on the whole Barbie thing. So,
okay.
Explain what you mean.
So we did our Christmas shopping like very last minute, like literally like the day before Christmas Eve. We were at the store and Olivia had said she wanted Barbies for Christmas. I'm like, yeah, sure, no big deal. We'll go to the Barbie section and, get a ton of Barbies or, and Barbie clothes or whatever they have. Well, the only thing that was left were the Barbie fashionista dolls.
Is that what they're calling it now?
Quote unquote. And well, I didn't know. And so I was looking at all the Barbies and I was, looking at the clothes and everything. And like at first glance, I'm like, whoa, I'm like, that Barbie looks weird. And I'm like, I'm like, is she plump? I'm like, what is this? And so I started to look at more of the fashionista Barbies and I'm like, why are they all like plus size? I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Olivia's going to look at this Barbie and be like, what the hell, Mom? Like, what is up with this Barbie? Like, the clothes were cool. And I'm like, maybe I can just get her the fashionista clothes. But I'm like, no, her Barbies will drown in these.
Yeah.
So the only Barbies they actually had were like the ones in swimsuits. And I'm just like, well, those are cheap. I mean,
that means you get no clothes. Those. Yeah, nobody wants the little inch of fabric,
the little $5 swimsuit Barbie.
Yeah.
And so we really had to dig around to try and find a Barbie.
So you didn't buy her the fat Barbie?
No. Well, because I know her, she would have been like,
she'd be like, what is this? Is this a knockoff?
She'd just be like, what's wrong with her? I know she would have commented on it.
Well, of course.
And she probably wouldn't have played with it.
No. I was curious about why. And I mean, obviously we have girls. And so I'm a little more in touch with the fact that there are different varieties of Barbie size-wise now. And so I did some research on the point of having different size Barbies. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that I'm a big fan of, and I think it's super important, is I think that culturally, I think there should be different races and different colors of dolls for children.
Oh, there always has been.
Well, not always. I can remember when the first Asian doll came out, the Asian Barbie. It wasn't that long ago.
Really?
Yeah. So and Mexican too, by the way. There was the woman of color Barbies, but they also always had Barbie hair. They didn't have afros or anything. So that part of it, to me, is super important. What isn't important is the body type. And now when they did like the Selena doll, or when they did a Cher doll once, that was my favorite doll that I had growing up. They did build them a little differently. They had more of a hip or a bigger boob. And so that part I totally get, because that kind of looks more like your mom. If you're of a culture where the women are more hippie and not so straight looking. But reading about it, kids don't identify with Barbie as a body type. They identify it as a toy. The skin color and the hair does matter, especially if you're a little girl who has afro or, thicker, coarser black hair. So it's nice to have a doll that has those features. But as far as the doll's shape, people put that on them on little girls, like their mothers. Oh, she doesn't look any. But little kids don't go, this doll is ridiculously built. No human being would have a stomach this small. That's not what they're thinking. They're just thinking, cool, she's my color, or she has this pretty face or whatever. And then they play, and like you know now, it's all about the clothes.
Yeah.
And if you can play with her in the bathtub or in the pool.
They're all in the bathtub right now anyway.
Kids, little girls specifically, do not give a shit about her boobs or how she has feet that are built for high heels only. Like no one really cares. But adults care. And they make it a thing. And that's why we have the fashionista line and all this other stuff. So it's like they've kind of, to me, it's like they're appeasing something that's not even a real problem. And I don't want to hear from you that, oh, my daughter. No, that's not true. They don't look at a doll and think, well, she's not chubby like me, therefore it's irrelevant to me. I don't want to play with it. Or I feel bad about myself.
It's going to give me, body shaming issues. Or
yes, because I can't wear a bikini like Barbie can. They said that the big things that little girls love about Barbie is her careers. The fact that she's a doctor or a vet or an astronaut or a scientist or whatever, or a teacher. They actually should focus more on a Barbie career, as well as multicultural, different skin tones and hair types. To me, that's where they should be putting their focus, not on these dumb hippie Barbies that are half the size of the traditional Barbie. It only happens when adults project it onto their children. When it's introduced.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and Barbie is the least of their problems.
Seriously.
I mean, there are other issues. I was trying to think about when I started to feel bad about my body, and I vividly can remember the day, Paula. Now, you may have never been shamed for your body. Maybe you had.
Oh, I was horribly.
Okay.
Because I was so skinny.
Okay, well, I was not. I wasn't a fat kid. I never had a problem with weight like traditionally, but I was shorter. And I definitely was, well, I'm Mexican, so I'm not going to look like, a tall California beach girl. I never have. And so I was in 6th grade, and it was at a pool party at a friend. Somebody had a big pool party, like end of year, and they invited every 6th grader at the school. And so shockingly, I was allowed to go. I don't even know how that happened, but somehow Mom allowed it. And so I also had my first 2-piece, and I was in 6th grade. And I was super excited. And I had lots of friends back then. I mean, it was just, I was not like as weird as our home life was, I actually had friends in school. So it was good.
Yeah.
So I go to this pool party, and there was a kid, Jason Gibbons. I'll never forget his name. And people know who he is because I still kind of live in the area. I don't know if he lives here anymore or not. But he had so much fun making fun of my body my 6th grade year. One time I was playing on the monkey bars, and I was wearing a button-up shirt, and I didn't need a bra yet. And so he was down below, and he could see, and he goes, "Oh my God, your boobs are flat as pancakes."
I would have kicked him in the face.
Well, he was huge. He was a big, like, not fat person, but he was a kid who had hit puberty before anybody else, and it was kind of intimidating. I didn't think anything of it. And I was just like, what are you talking about? I was so naive. We were so naive. I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't think I had flat boobs because I didn't even realize I needed boobs yet. And so that one didn't affect me as much. But the second time we were at this pool party, and I'd been swimming, and I was sitting next to my friend on the steps by the pool. And he walked up, and I was kind of hunched over. So I had like 2 little skin rolls. And he's like, "Oh my God, look at your fat rolls." And I'm like, what? And I looked down, and I had him, but it was because I was hunched over because it was kind of cold. From that day on, Paula, I was obsessed with my stomach. To this day, I am obsessed with my stomach.
Wow.
Because of that one comment by Jason Gibbons.
What a little shitbag. You know
He
what?
is a shitbag. If I saw him today, I'd punch him in the face.
See, I had
thanks for all the body issues.
I had the absolute opposite problem. Probably as early as I can remember, I had people call me an Ethiopian for as long as I can remember.
That's terrible.
They would ask me if I swallowed a piece of rice if my neck looked like this, and then they would pull out the sides of their neck,
That's
because
awful.
I was like ghastly skinny. I mean,
I
can remember.
I do.
And then for some odd reason, I can't explain it, but by the time I hit 6th grade, I was already a B cup.
Oh.
And so I had girls asking me all the time, if they could borrow a tissue or because they thought I stuffed my bra.
That is awful.
It was horrible.
That is horrible. But did it give you body? Were you like conscious, like you were ashamed of your body by then?
Well, I was like ashamed of my
breasts.
Yeah, because I didn't understand like what the big deal was. Because I'm like, I thought it was exciting. Like I thought that's what we all had been waiting for.
It's like, did we all not read "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret"? Aren't we all excited about this?
Now, little did I know that my B cup would remain until I was like a sophomore. But
like that, you crested. You literally, you peaked.
I peaked at 12, but
that was it's like little did you know that's all there was.
And I still was, probably like, I don't know, 85 pounds maybe.
Yeah, you were a tiny person. You're a very tiny person for sure.
So it was.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's that aspect, and then
so it doesn't really matter what your body is. People they're going to make fun of it no matter what it is.
That's right, and it sucks because those things stick with you. I hate that as confident as I am. As a woman, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty good existing on this planet. Mm-hmm. But I have a shit ton of insecurities. And my body, my stomach is number one. Number one. And it's not even that bad. I mean, in the big picture. But it doesn't matter. And let's be honest, our mother, who is a bit judgy when it comes to physical features, doesn't help.
I know. She's so quick to point it out. And I'm like, Mom, have you looked in a mirror? It's just like, I'll never forget what she said when I got married to Victor is we all were arguing over dresses. And
oh, God, that was so horrible.
The stupid black dresses. And I was talking to Mom about it. And she's like, it doesn't matter what they buy. She says, what they put in it, it is what it is.
I know.
She was just so
I know.
And
well, you know what? Mom has always had the luxury of being very petite. She does not have weight issues the way I do or anyone else. Well, here's the thing though. For me personally, from my perspective, I was the only one that inherited the Mexican body. Everybody else inherited the Swedish body, the tiny, petite, thin build.
No ass.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that you definitely have your complaints of your own body, and we all do. But trying to grow up in a house full of tiny women, and being the only one that has D boobs in high school and a big ass. Now today, thanks to Jennifer Lopez, it's not that embarrassing. True. But back in the 80s, nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted to look like that.
Yeah, I remember you telling me frequently to get out of your sight. So.
Yeah, I couldn't wear the same things that you guys could wear. Nobody could borrow my clothes. Then I would get really mad at Stephanie and be like, why are you wearing my clothes? What? I'm like, I can't wear your clothes. Don't wear my clothes. We do not wear the same size. Oh, God, she used to call me a fat slut all the time.
Oh, God, she's awful.
She is awful. Terrible. But we were, we hated each other all through childhood.
No,
it's amazing that we love each other now.
I'm self-conscious about my stomach too. We all are. After you have kids, you just get a fat stomach,
Yeah. And what's funny is I'm sitting here kind of sweating even talking about my body. And it's, by the way, everyone, it's not because of the freaking Barbies, okay? It's not. It's just life, just society. Seriously. I also think it's a little self-imposed. Because I didn't grow up with Cosmo and, the 17 magazine. Mom's like, you need 17 magazine.
She said that to you? It's my cat. He wants
Oh, yeah. No, she said, you need 17 magazine. So she got me a subscription that I had all through high school.
Oh, good. A bunch of 15-year-olds with no bodies.
Yeah, but the thing is it was all focused on hair and makeup. There was very few body shots back then. It was all like profile. So, yeah, I don't know why. And then she made me get Cosmo when I graduated.
But Probably because she couldn't have those discussions with you. She'd rather you read it in the agony column.
Exactly. But here's the other thing. And this has really been something that I've noticed, and I think it's as I'm getting older, is I don't think we really realize how much our mom's generation suffered as women in this country back in the 60s and 70s, that they were truly oppressed back then. Mm-hmm. They couldn't even get their own divorces. They couldn't own their own homes without their dad or their husband. And so when 17 and Cosmo were big things back in the 80s, it was to empower women and to embrace their sexuality, embrace their beauty, their looks, their diversity, all of that stuff. So for a long time, I thought, what is she trying to tell me? I need to do my makeup? No. Mom taught us how to do our makeup great. Yeah. But it was about, you don't need a man. You don't need, to put up with this shit. That's the kind of stuff that was in those magazines back then. It's not like that now, but back then, that's exactly what it was. And so in some aspects, she helped me. And really, I mean, I can't even look at them now. They're so terrible. But back then, that's all there was.
Yeah. No,
and I think that's why she was like, you have to have these magazines. Because I think she was a big fan of those, that enlightenment.
Well, they were very informative. The articles were good.
They were back then. They had legit writers and real subject matter.
I haven't looked at a Cosmo in forever.
It has been a very long time since I've considered them legitimate periodicals.
I mean, most of them are just advertisements.
And fashion brands. Yeah. I haven't
seen an article in a really long time.
I would be curious to see what it says now. I'd be really interested.
My favorite was the agony column. I've noticed a fishy smell coming from my vagina. Should I be concerned?
You should be running to your doctor. I've read that a couple of times. It's like,
my boyfriend and I had sexual intercourse and it burned.
Yes, there was a lot of that.
That was funny.
Anyway, so leave Barbie alone. She's fine. Just put her in a variety of cultural,
embrace that
characteristics, embrace the cultural differences, and I think we'll be much happier. We don't need fat ones. We just need different shades of skin and eye shape and hair, and I wouldn't mind a boob fluctuation, but
by Skipper. Which there was plenty of, by the way.
I gotta tell you, I recall you having quite a few Skippers in your life.
I did not have Skipper. I hated that doll. Did I really?
I believe you had at least 2.
Maybe I had her just so I could, maybe I was, Actually, hypothetical Skipper.
Well, you were, because you were the baby sister, but
and I had
also
no boobs, and everyone yelled at me.
No,
told me how skinny and no boobless I was. Or
I think Skipper was the only one that came with animals.
Oh,
she had the pet cat or dog, and there was a time they couldn't give them away, so Skipper came with Barbie at one point.
That's true.
So he probably got her for free.
Barbie was the slut. Skipper was just the young,
impressionable
left behind boobless sister.
God, it's true. I did read that Barbie actually started off as a gag gift for stag parties. That they would give away. The original form of Barbie was a naked chick that they would give away at stag parties, and that they would hang on the mirrors in a car. That's kind of where the hula doll came from.
Oh,
isn't that interesting? I had no idea.
They're making a Barbie movie.
Like a real one?
Uh-huh.
Because there's been a ton of Barbie movies.
No, they're making a Barbie movie.
Like about Barbie?
I don't really know what it is. I just know Margot Robbie is going to play Barbie.
Oh, so she's going to be like a real Barbie? Interesting. Well, okay.
For some reason, this was like a year ago. Supposedly, Amy Schumer was supposed to play Barbie. But
that's right.
But that got scrapped, which I'm glad.
They said she wasn't thin enough.
She wasn't Barbie material.
She's Barbie material. She's not.
She's not.
Oh my God. I saw, she's, I think she's about 5 or 6 months pregnant.
Is she done talking about her throwing up?
No. In fact, there was a picture. She went somewhere for the Christmas vacation. Everybody famous goes to Hawaii during Christmas for some strange reason.
Why is she going anywhere? Just stay at her house.
Well, she indicated that she can't eat anything before 4 o'clock. If she eats anything before 4 o'clock, she throws it up. But after 4 o'clock, she can eat whatever she wants.
Okay.
And so she's getting past it.
I guess everyone has to find their way.
Yes.
But I couldn't eat dick. Well, I mean, literally anything. I definitely couldn't eat dick, but I couldn't eat anything.
Nothing was happening. Yeah.
It didn't matter what time of day it was.
Yeah. So after 4 p.m., she feels human. And,
That's weird.
I like Amy Schumer, so I'm happy for her that she can finally find some joy in this pregnancy. But when you have pregnancies this bad, the only person I've seen endure it for the purpose of her job is Princess Kate. Other than that, no other woman would ever do that twice.
No. I mean, when I was that sick, I literally just stayed at home on the couch.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
And I typically had a migraine every day because I was so malnourished.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm so glad you ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
You were like practically human there. You're like, I don't want to leave. You even said, you're like, I don't want to leave. They're telling me I have to go. And I'm like, I don't want to.
I was like crying.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to leave. I just want to stay. Take care of me. Anyway. All right. So I'm not doing any ugly and awkward moments this week because I am rallying the troops. We need some more submissions for 2019. So this is my official announcement, and I will make the announcement on our social media as well. We need some ugly and awkward moments. I will always provide some, but I really love it when we get our submissions. And I have used all of the 2018 submissions. So now I need some 2019 submissions. And I know it's early in the year, but I have faith that you've all experienced or seen a ugly moment.
Something terrible.
Something embarrassing has happened. Or funny. Yeah, for sure. So send those you can send them to our Ugly Truth page. There's a contact page on our Ugly Truth website. And then also you can submit to any of our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're there.
Yes.
So do that. And then I'll start reading your experiences.
Exactly. And also please keep shopping at our Amazon link. You can find it on uglytruth.com. And also continue to shop
Lip and clip.
Sorry. I wasn't thinking. I hardly got any sleep last night. So
I noticed that you were posting, I don't know if it was last night or the night before.
God, what did I post? Do I need to look?
No. What I noticed is that you are deliriously overtired because you clearly are having insomnia, which I actually went through quite a bit over the winter. And last night was the first night I fell asleep before 1 a.m., which was shocking. I don't know if it's hormones or what, but I just have really been struggling with that. But you recently have been. So I don't know if it was last night or the night before, but I wake up in the morning and it's only been 7 hours, which means you posted it at like 2 a.m.
What was it?
And it was, take a bow, the night is over. And I'm like, why is she posting Madonna videos? And then there was another one, and then at some point you were watching Breaking Amish and saying you would be a bad Amish person because you'd be pale in that white bonnet.
No, I said I would be an ugly Amish person.
Oh, ugly Amish. Well, you would, so don't ever do it.
Terrible. And not UGLEE. I mean, just
no, like
flat
seriously
ugly.
hideous. Be like, why are you dying?
No, I think I'm super stressed out. Yeah. Because I've just been looking for a job forever, and no one is calling me. Although I got 2 phone calls.
Are you kidding? There's been a flurry of calls since we've been recording the show.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
Well, because the season is over, and this is the week where everybody's actually back to work. So
maybe, yeah,
for sure.
No, Olivia woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning last night, wide awake, and she could not go back to sleep. So she finally fell asleep at like 2:15. Well, Victor and I we've all, because of the summer or the winter break, we've all been staying up way later than usual. Yeah. And so I think we had gone to bed at like 12:30. So I hadn't been asleep that long, and so
it was like a nap.
And then my alarm clock went off at 6:30. So
yes,
I'm just tired.
I agree.
Yes,
I know.
And I have been having some insomnia, so
I hate it.
It is what it is.
Yes. Anyway, I have nothing more to add. I think we've talked about everything.
Way too much. I'm sure producer Dub is going to hate us.
We're
on it. Okay, not that bad.
No, not at all.
Good. Okay, well, we'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.